So we're getting into spoilers, and we got the Matt Damon talking like this. Here we go.
You got the Christian Bale being like this. That wasn't accurate at all.
So we're sort of going to be going a bit incoherent here, which it's just more of a discussion based. That's why we always put spoiler discussion in the tag. So real quick, I really did not like the mustache twirling villain that they forced into this.
Same. He was so he was so hokey. Or I was this is so bad.
Because I sort of understood it at the start, but then
I get that you need an antagonist, but I feel like you didn't need this guy.
Well, that's the thing. The antagonist is the idea of Ferrari dominating these races.
Right, but also Ford sucked. So I was like, who am I rooting for here? Ford was not good to their people. And we don't want Ferrari to win. So I was like, I don't want Ford to win or Ferrari to win.
Yeah, no. Lindsay, clearly
I know.
We're rooting for Shelby.
Yes, I'm aware. But I didn't care about whether Ken Miles
John
was
Bernthal? We're rooting for John Bernthal?
I don't remember his character.
No, you heard.
I just don't remember who he was or what he did.
We're rooting for the kid.
Oh, yeah.
I was rooting for that kid. That poor kid was he was just there to foreshadow that someone would be sad when Ken Miles died.
Okay, yeah, no, I felt... Okay,
I'm
sorry. that was another scene. If we're talking not so good scenes, the scene where I forget what actor he's talking to, but he's like, are people going to be okay when race accidents happen? He's like, don't worry, kid. He got out of the car. He's fine. And that scene lingers for way too long.
And I was like, oh, so he's definitely going to catch on fire and get out of the car.
That was really foreshadowing. I knew that he was going to die because my dad told me oh yeah, he died. And I was like, oh, great. But yeah, it was a really obvious foreshadowing. Sometimes the door doesn't open and the driver dies. And I was like, suspicious.
The door won't open.
Yeah, and he's like, door open this time. But if we're talking favorite scenes,
can I just say real quick?
Yes, Theo wants to be more negative. Go for it.
Yes, no, not really. Actually, I thought it was really funny because when they're in the final race and he's like, "This goddamn door won't close," and then the guy was like, all right, we're gonna hammer it in. I was like, okay, so this is how he dies, right? Because they're
I was very worried about that.
And he's just not gonna get out. And then it's no, it's actually unrelated.
Yep, actually has nothing to do with that at all.
That's not even negative. It was just more of a funny, oh, okay, this is
a fun trivia.
Yeah, right. Anyway, sorry, but we can keep going. I just thought that was cool.
Yeah, I was just gonna say favorite scenes. Mine in particular. Which I think is the peak of both these actors. They just play off each other so well. Is the fight scene where where Matt Damon's just talking to Ken Miles. Sorry, that Carol Shelby's talking to Ken Miles, and he's like, "What do you want me to do? Do you want me to get down and beg you to come to Ferrari?" And he's like, "Oh, that's a good start." And then it gets into this fist fight, and they're fighting with bread, and they're still friends. So and you can clearly tell that because one of them grabs a full-on can of vegetables and then is like, wait, if I bash his skull with this, he is going to die. Grab the bread. Grab the bread. And I thought it was so entertaining. And the wife just comes out and it's such a cheesy scene, but again, I love it. Yeah, she's just chilling out there. And I was like, this is great.
And then she's like, oh, do you want a soda, guys? He's like, what?
A fizzy pop as those across the pond.
Would you like to enjoy a nice, cool, refreshing Coca-Cola?
Oh my god.
There was so much Coke product placement.
I didn't notice the Coke product placement.
You seriously didn't? When they clanged their bottles together and I was like, am I watching a commercial? What is this?
I didn't realize it was Coke, to be honest.
Oh my god, it was so much. Okay, well, I saw it.
Yeah, me and Blake see past the advertising. Blake, what was your favorite scene?
My favorite scene was when The scene after his wife finds out about him going out with Matt Damon the night before, so she's driving the car really fast and scaring
Oh
him.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
that actually was a pretty good scene.
I don't know what the actress's name was, but I think overall she was really great, and that was her best scene in the movie.
Catriona Balfe?
I think so, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, she was great in that scene. Especially
Ooh.
he's like, we're gonna
Yeah.
be making 200 a day.
Absolutely.
He was like, "Oh,
yeah.
200,"
Yeah.
and he was like, "Yeah, but I don't know if I'm gonna accept or not." Like, what? Don't be sassy, okay?
Oh yeah. Let's see. Lindsay, what was your favorite scene?
I really liked the part where he decided to slow down and let them catch up. I thought
Okay.
that was
Yeah.
that was the only part where I was like, oh, this is actually getting really interesting, because then he got like robbed of his win for that. And that part I thought was really...
So I have a couple problems that I assumed someone would bring. I actually love the way that's filmed, and Theo was talking about this, the way they sort of slow down in the racing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that scene is clearly telling, like, this whole time he was sort of doing it to prove to himself, like, hey, you could do the perfect lap. You are one of the greatest racers. You may be old and over the hill to a lot of people, but like you still had the talent and the drive to do this. And in that moment, he's like, oh, like I don't need to be Ken Miles, the number one racer. Like there's nothing I have left to prove. Now, the thing that I completely disagree with, and I was talking to my dad about this as we were driving home. Okay, so Ken Miles starts off the race, broken door, laps a ton of Ferraris throughout the race. He laps 20 before it catches fire. He laps 21 twice. He sets the course lap record not once but 2 times, and then slows down so that way they can tie together. And you're telling me none of the reporters want to talk to him?
Same, yeah.
No, that's super fair. Yeah,
I thought
that's
that,
a valid criticism.
I agree with you there. I was just like, I don't have anything to add that you haven't. That was probably one of my biggest gripes, where it was just like, oh, literally no one but Matt Damon wants to talk to Ken Miles. Cool.
I didn't get it at all.
Yeah, that was like kind of weird because he was an obvious winner. Because like he had the time to stop and to wait, and it was like it was the winner. But yeah, like everyone ignored him, so it was like, what's happening?
Yeah, and that wouldn't be how that went. Like, if someone like killed it and was the story of all 24 hours, like you don't just automatically go, oh, hey, this racer we didn't talk about for the majority of this race, let's go to him and interview him.
Right.
Because he never heard of him.
Yes, yeah, right. Well, and so like that's the thing, is they were showing us the shots of all of the like translators like freaking out about Miles, like, oh my god, Miles, like, oh my god, they're doing this thing, like, oh my god. And then that's the thing, is like if you didn't have those scenes, I could like buy that more. But the way they
make it such a big deal.
Yes, that's the thing, is like, oh, so he's hot shit, but now he's not. Sorry, I'm being very gripey about that.
The thing is, no, also, the thing that I sort of get a little like irritated is I like the scene transition of, I bet James Mangold was like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if these two characters just sort of bask in like the glory of what they've done just with each other? But I think there's a way better way that you can do that. Because I like the whole like, oh, he just won like the biggest race ever, and then Shelby and Miles are just there, just sort of talking, and they're like, oh, still could be faster, and they're still like in that passionate way of going back to what they love. But yeah,
I agree with you.
Plot-wise, does not make sense. And I think I'm gonna throw out another thing. Don't exactly love the Matt Damon narration.
No, I couldn't tell if that was narration or if that was like something, from the next scene that was about to cut to him talking as a speech. That didn't really sound like voiceover.
It was also another thing that was a little odd, and I don't know why I didn't mention. Not really, but they do the whole opening credits and then they do credits again.
Yeah.
Did y'all notice that?
Yeah.
Oh, did they?
Oh right,
There's
I
like
didn't notice that.
15. It takes like 15 minutes to say John Bernthal.
Yeah.
Huge gap.
What's with you and John Bernthal?
No, like he's third, but he's the front of the second credits, but it takes like 15 minutes to get there. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because
Right.
they do
Gotcha.
Mangold, Damon, Christian Bale, and then they're like Ford v Ferrari, and then 15 minutes later they're like, oh, we're gonna do it again, and I was like, wait, what?
Why
Yeah.
do you hate John Bernthal?
I didn't notice that. That's
But
interesting.
I don't hate him.
Yeah, Lindsay hates John Bernthal. It's confirmed.
I didn't say that.
Oh my god, Lindsay, why?
This is gonna be the clip that I post on Twitter.
Oh my god.
That's gonna be the clickbait. Like, you can listen Lindsay talking trash about John Bernthal. Click here.
Oh, but so another scene that I really enjoyed. I love the whole shadiness of like Ford and Ferrari meeting together, and having that like interesting meeting, just so the photographer can get one shot, so they can push up the price Porsche's giving them.
Yeah.
I don't know, just a whole like seethiness of it, and he's like, "Go tell your pig-headed boss that like he'll never
He's
have
not-
what we have car
yeah.
racing."
So that's honestly actually what I was gonna say is like my favorite scene of the movie, where I just really enjoy kind of those scenes where they kind of explore, like underhanded tactics on like corporations, and I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that whole section. That was the most amount of John Bernthal, so like maybe that's why I enjoyed it the most. But
Lindsay's
yeah,
least favorite part, but we won't talk about that. No, but
yeah.
one thing I loved specifically about that app.
Oh my god.
is, okay, I see the product placement. Lindsay. But one thing I loved about that afterwards is just when they initially come back, and Ford Jr.'s asking them, he's like, tell me specifically what he said.
Oh
And,
yeah.
like, he repeats verbatim the same line. Such a funny scene, but it also, for me at least, like if a CEO, hotshot, billionaire guy who owns like one of the most like, American companies, and we're like hardworking and all this stuff, if they said that about a CEO, I could see, especially in that era, him being like, oh, this is going to be the one thing I'm passionate about now.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
think it really like lights up Henry Ford's second fire. Like he now he has like this goal, like he just want to beat Ferrari. And like yeah, I really like that part. Like the acting of that guy, I don't know his name.
Tracy Letts.
Oh well,
he's what I call a discount. Oh, what's the guy?
Wow.
because
the guy
like
that's in
John
Dumb and
Bernthal-
Dumber.
Jeff
Like-
Daniels.
Yeah, he's discount Jeff Daniels for me.
like John Bernthal says like, oh, he said you're not Henry Ford, you're just Henry Ford second, and the way
Yeah.
that his smile like vanishes slowly, it's like whoa, it's like
Yeah,
oh my
like that
God.
just hurt.
Yeah, it's like oh, this is gonna get real like heavy right now. Yeah.
And I think that stuff, okay, because I get what Lindsay's saying. This clearly isn't a guy that we're. But
Mhm.
I think that these couple scenes that sort of delve into that character, I think do give an important moment in that racing scene where Shelby brings him out in the car, and he's like, "Hey, see, like this car, like no one knows how to drive it as well as Ken Miles does, and you have to trust us because you have no clue, like what you and the rest of Ford, y'all know nothing about Formula One racing, and you need to like stay out of this completely."
Yeah, no, I see what you mean actually. And I like that as well, because I think that what's funny, because that honestly was almost like part of what was frustrating to me, because I could kind of see why. Like I think that for how ridiculous the main mustache twirling villain was, that was like the one thing that I could be like, okay, that actually like that's not that bad. Like I understand where you're coming from, because like this dude is basically like a person, what do you call it? Personalization of like corporate like all consumingness and like
For sure. Yeah, consumerism. Which I think does make for a great scene when he's locked in that room.
Yeah. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Because
I love that scene. Like when Henry Ford starts crying, like after like Matt Damon drives and he just like bursts to tears. Like
Oh yeah, that scene was actually pretty
love
funny.
that part. It was so funny.
And the thing that I especially loved about it, you don't know if he's crying or if he's just in sheer amazement. There's a lot that has to go into like an actor's like cry to get that to pull off. Well. Another thing I wanted to throw out, because we mentioned Cars in our regular review, I thought this movie was about to take a Cars approach in that like the hotshot company would be like, we need a racer like you, Lightning McQueen. And I thought Ferrari, because I knew nothing about this movie. I thought Ferrari was going to like go to Ken Miles and be like, hey, we want you to rep like Ferrari and then buy him. Because like, honestly, like Ferrari's a way better company than Ford.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're made to be like some sort. I get their presence is villainous, but like they did nothing wrong besides a shady deal, which just got them more money. Like I understand why they did.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that was kind of one of my biggest problems was that like it was called Ford versus Ferrari, but like I hated Ford so much more than I hated Ferrari. Because we barely saw Ferrari, and everyone at Ford was an asshole. So I was like, how do you want Ford to be the villain and the underdog?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think it was supposed to be like they're balancing fighting Ford, but I don't know. The thing is, Ford v Ferrari is such an intriguing title.
Yeah.
So like,
I really thought like they were gonna like the movie was going to test the friendship between Damon and Bale's character. Like I really thought that was the point.
Oh, see, so I saw nothing trailer wise for this before, and I thought the film was Damon was racing Ford and Christian Bale was racing Ferrari.
Oh, it took me I had to watch the trailer 5 times to understand that they were on the same team.
I didn't realize that. Yeah, I didn't realize they were going to be on the same. Got like until they get to the race, and he's like, "Oh wait, this is my racer." By the way, great scene of him just whacking his trunk to make it fit this stupid rule that they came up with.
For me, that part was just like Christian Bale being Christian Bale. Like he wasn't even a character. Like I was like, "Oh, that's him." Like. That's totally him. That's something Christian Bale will definitely do if someone says it to him.
Christian Bale's such a fun actor. I get what Lindsay's saying. I don't think challenging role, but yeah, no, I'm in full agreement with Angelis as well. I think this is like just the embodiment of the fun and like sort of like, I don't know, weird, like I can't come up with the right word, but like sneaky fun. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing, but it's almost like a chaotic good-spirited nature that he's able to provide here that I'm just fully on board for. And Lindsay, if you send us one more Coke ad.
Sorry. It was just so much.
I didn't even notice. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, Theo.
Theo, no.
Jesus. But yeah, I also thought so I'm actually a big fan of like the pit stop stuff.
Oh my God!
And I think the whole idea of them actually replacing the brakes. I thought again, I knew nothing about cars, but when they say that, I'm like, oh, that's smart. Like they figured it out. And then of course they try to get the rules guy to try to attack them. And there's just so many scenes. I sort of get where Lindsay's coming from almost, because there's scenes where like you can see where it's going, where Christian Bale's like saying the thing and Matt Damon's like, whoa, hold up. And then he says the exact same thing. Like it's
yeah, it was so funny. For me, it was funny.
Yeah, no, I eat that stuff up and like I love it, but I could see how that stuff could be off-putting when it's not like building the characters and creating like history for you to actually understand them.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, I really wanted this to be an exciting movie. I wanted to enjoy it.
Yeah, vroom vroom fast. Lindsay
yeah,
wanted
vroom
to like.
vrooms. I wanted to like. I just didn't at all. Can I ask how you felt about his death scene?
Okay. Oh God, I'm glad you mentioned this.
Because I thought it was so tacked on.
I thought it was so cheesy.
Yeah.
And that being said, I still wholeheartedly love this film.
No, yeah, that's fair.
I thought it was in a movie, so I actually think some of the runtime was felt. I like all the parts of it, but I think that doesn't need to be put in. I think you could just save that for the end credits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also, you'd have to take out the wrench that he puts up on the wall, but that was kind of random, him framing that. I didn't really like that.
I think what you could do is instead you could go to Shelby way later on in his career. You don't even have to have the death scene. You could just have the reporting of like that crash happening.
No, that would be American Sniper-esque. I would not want to
No.
that.
But then you go back to Damon visiting the house, because I do like that scene with him and Noah Jupe.
Yeah.
Because I do think that I don't know, for whatever reason, there's something interesting to me where like, because a lot of like your childhood, you think like adults are smart and they know more than you and they understand things, but like that is clearly like one of those scenes where like a kid's mind is what that person needed at that moment, and he clearly says the words that Shelby needed at that time. And I get it may be like a little cheesy, and I sort of understand that, but that conversation is what sort of saves Shelby, I think, and it deserved a better like front part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, I also was confused because at the end of it, and maybe can add in on this, but at the end of it, it was like, oh, he went on to win 4 of the races at, I'm trying to remember the name. Oh, the Le Mans. So I was wait, so he didn't die straight after? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was a little like confusing.
Yeah, same.
But again, still like it. Still had tons of fun.
Yeah, like it's tricky because like I do have a lot of, I don't even want to say problems, but it's a movie I'm very conflicted where like I give it a low, like it seems like a really low score, and when I talk about it, I'm like, yeah, here are these things I'm not really hot on, but for whatever reason, ultimately, I'm like, yeah, that was pretty fun. Like, I had a decent time with it. Like,
I think it's because the things it does fun, it does really, really well.
Yes, I agree with that. Yeah.
And then when it tries to do, like, certain things are so, like, weirdly, like, not as good and almost off-putting in certain moments.
One thing that bugged me was that it maybe had subtitles 3 times, but it kept cutting to Enzo Ferrari and it would barely translate him.
I actually kind of like that.
I thought that was questionable. I don't know.
Really interesting.
And I didn't understand when Matt Damon drops the bolt.
Oh, because they thought something was messed up with the car.
Yeah.
Because they thought they missed a bolt, and if you miss one single bolt.
Yeah. That was pretty funny for me, that scene.
I liked all those scenes of Matt Damon messing with Ferrari.
Oh yeah, like when he stole the chronometers.
Yeah, they're clearly like funny movie moments, but I don't know. Just the fact he pulls out the watch and he's like, want a stopwatch? It's Italian. He also sort of talks like Brad Pitt in Inglourious.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, no, but I think that's gonna. Does anybody else have spoilers they want to discuss?
No, I think that was good.
Hey, we did it. We have recorded.
We did it. We talked about it.
Woo! And we are going into the last lap, and we finished our review. Thank you, Angelis, for your first time coming on.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. And then thank you, Blake, Lindsay, and Theo.
Hey.
And then hope you guys check out more of our spoiler discussion. We got The Lighthouse, Parasite, It Chapter 2, all that good stuff. It will be linked in the video. And hope you guys enjoyed this discussion. Vroom.
Me-